Hello, good people of YouTube, Mountbatten here, and today I'm going to give you guys updates on what has happened with the blackmailing situation that occurred roughly 9 days ago. And I'm going to start off by giving a little synopsis of what happened. If you already know, just skip forward like, I don't know, a minute or 30 seconds or so. If you want the full details, go watch the video last week, it's literally called Blackmailed. So, anyway. There is this one member of my clan, we're calling him Jim, and it's not Jim 1911. I didn't realize that there's an actual Jim in the clan when I gave the player this nickname. But Jim was playing with this other player, and this other player was trying to torpedo this destroyer, but the destroyer kept dodging his torpedoes left, right, and center because he probably had priority target. And this player accused that enemy DD of being a hacker. Jim came to that DD's defense, said, he's just a good player. And long story short, he called the other player an idiot and a female dog. So that's not the worst thing I've heard on World of Warships. That's actually quite tame. On World of Tanks, I'm sure there's much worse stuff because those guys, holy crap, those guys are hardcore. But anyway, so Jim messaged me saying, if you hear from this guy, just ignore him, and he explained to me what happened. And I thought, well, he's not going to message me about that. Lo and behold, the guy did message me about that, and it actually, according to what was said in the message, wasn't the actual player that was in the game with Jim at the time, but the player's dad. And the guy that was playing with Jim was actually a young kid. So this kid's dad wanted me to ban Jim from my clan, and he had screenshots of the message that Jim had sent to his son over chat. And if I didn't ban Jim from my clan, he was going to post these onto the forums for everyone to see. That's pretty much exactly how he stated it. And I have pictures of the original message, again, on the other video if you want to go check that out. So, anyway, I messaged the guy back saying, hey, can you send me the screenshot so I can see exactly what was said and appropriate action can take place. Because I'm not going to ban Jim on hearsay or just this guy saying that he was acting like this and this and this. Because Jim came to me and told me that he said this and this and this is what happened. So, I already know from Jim's side what happened, and this guy is not providing me any other evidence to the contrary. So I'm not going to ban Jim just for, over that'd be silly. I talked to him, and as far as I'm concerned, that's settled on his side. So, a week later, what has happened? Nothing has happened. I messaged the guy again, asking him for the screenshots. I sent him my email address, and he hasn't sent them to me. So that tells me, one, he really doesn't care all that much. Two, he was bluffing about having the screenshots in the first place. Or three, there was no dad in the first place to begin with, which is what some of you guys commented on last week's video. And so the things you pointed out has led me to believe that there really was no dad in the situation. Or if he does, he has really bad grammar. And that the kid was just trying to get back at Jim and saying, he was his own dad, and he has these screenshots and, so forth and so on. Which I do think is the case, because if you go look back at the message, and again, it's from the first video, you can clearly see that there's a lot of capitalizations where there shouldn't be capitalizations. A couple words is misspelled. Now, granted, this was just a message between that player's account and my account, so does the dad need to be 100% grammatically correct? No. But if he did, it probably would have certainly looked more better. It would have looked better. And just the lack of action on the guy's part now after coming out with that very, very strong accusation and demand. Yeah, I kind of think that there really wasn't a dad in this situation. It would have continuing to message me. I mean, he went through the trouble of finding my clan and finding my account and messaging my account. And I don't know if he knows about the YouTube channel. Because I'm sure he would have thrown YouTube in there too. If if he was, he would say that I would have sent this to YouTube to see how your clan is operating and treating children. And that was kind of like why I made the first video in the first place, was because YouTube has been extremely sensitive about children recently. There's the whole COPA thing going around now. We have to literally tell YouTube, are your videos made for kids or not? If you guys have a YouTube channel and upload stuff, there's always that little like winglet in the corner saying, does your video follow the YouTube guidelines if it contains children in it, and so forth and so on. So that was the main motivation for me making the video last time, just to show, hey, I'm trying to handle the situation. Because if this guy does find out I have a YouTube channel, if he is serious about causing some type of harm or duress to me, he could certainly go there. And if you look at the past month and a half for the channel, we've really been growing. And if he would have somehow gotten YouTube on my case, that could have potentially hurt that growth. I've seen channels demonetized for less. I've seen the algorithm get turned against them for less. And I really didn't want that to happen with this channel, especially since, again, we've been growing phenomenally for the past couple of months. So I wasn't making it just to make a drama video or anything. I really was worried about what would happen to the channel if this guy was really serious about causing damage. And, I mean, it's sad to say that YouTube is like this. They do throw creators under the bus nowadays a lot. And I didn't want to be the next one that happened to. So that's why I made the video, just to document that I'm doing this, I'm trying to handle it. This guy comes complaining or anything, I haven't heard back from him, even though I'm trying to find out what happened. But at the end of the day, I'm much more less worried about, wow, my grammar is on point today, y'all. I'm much less worried about it now, because I do really think it was just a kid trying to start up a fussy. And your comments in the last video certainly helped about that a lot. There were some beautiful comments on the last video. And I think my favorite is Matthew Long's comment that says, can you imagine how this conversation would have gone if this kid was dealing with Flamu? I would have gifted 2 or 3 subs on Twitch to see that one. Followed up by Ruin LS's comment, the kid would have needed therapy after that encounter, because yes, Flamu would have just tore that kid a new one. But yeah, this was either just the kid pretending to be his dad, or certainly a helicopter parent moment, or as some of you said, a dad Karen. For those of you who don't know, a Karen, it's like the ladies with the very short blonde haircut, and they're always the one that want to talk to the manager about the littlest trivial things, which this was a very small, very trivial thing in retrospect, because, I mean, even though Jim did cuss the kid out, I mean, Jesus, on one of Warships, that's a very tame cussing session. I've seen much worse over frickin' going to the wrong cap. People getting called much worse names and much more colorful vocabulary. But yeah, this was, in all retrospects, a very stupid situation. It's very strange. If this was really a parent, I don't know what parent doesn't understand that online you're not going to meet very nice people a lot of the time. Most of the time, people are pretty okay in Water Warships, especially if you look at something like Water Tanks or War Thunder. I mean, I can understand accusing someone of hacking when you really just don't know how the game works. I've seen that happen before. I saw what was it? Oh god, I think it was an Asashio, accused the Bismarck of hacking because he was dodging his torpedoes, because he thought that deep water torpedoes were invisible to the very last second, and I had to tell him, no, he's got hydroacoustic search. It still detects them much later, but he's still detecting them with hydro. And it is really annoying when you see people complaining about things that they should know by the time they get to that tier, and they may just not, because they bought a tier 8 premium or a tier 9 premium, which I was there, but I quickly realized I had no idea what the hell was going on, and I went back to tier 5. But yeah, and again, a stupid situation. I'm glad it's over with. I hope I don't ever hear from this guy again, or his quote-unquote dad. And I'm sure I'll probably deal with stuff like this in the future more, but this one was just, whew. Just, he came swinging in that message, just, if you don't do this, I'm going to post these to the forum. But as many of you pointed out, the forum guys probably would have just laughed him to death. But yeah, the situation is over as far as I'm concerned. This should be the last video on this topic. And again, I don't really make these drama types of videos, and I don't really want to. I do kind of dislike YouTubers that like every video they make is just a drama video, or like this little thing happened to me and I'm going to sit here and explain it to you in this 20 or 30-minute video. So yeah, I don't want to be like that. I just wanted to explain why I made the video last week and what's happened with it now. So anyway, guys, if you enjoyed the video, please drop a like, leave a comment, and subscribe. Hope you're having a wonderful Wednesday. And tomorrow is Thanksgiving, so hope you have lots of lovely food being prepped today for tomorrow. So again, guys, thanks for watching. I'll catch you guys in the next one.